Hello, everyone. I'm back. Wanted to start this year with what I originally started my stream doing, which is art. So today I'm just gonna really kind of do like a show and tell. I'm not 100% still fighting with this little cold, but I wanted to go ahead and kick it off and get it started for the new year. And what I'm going to be doing is like showing the type of things I do in art. Um, I'm a mixed media artist, but I mostly make books. And I have some that are more complete than others, but I just wanted to show like a variety of the things that I do. I'm not gonna the books that I show. I'm not gonna show like the whole entire book, or we'll be here for days. I'm just gonna kind of show you the book, like the outside and some of the pages, so at least it gives you like a feel for the type of things that I do as an artist. But I also do canvases, collage and paint on canvases, and make quilts. But those are a little bit harder to get in here in frame to show you. So let's start with the big one so I can get that one out of the way. Um, and then I might kind of start on the project that I'm gonna start for next year, or I might just say that for next stream. But all of these books are made from scratch. They started with like some of them, most of them with white paper that I painted before turning it into a book. So let's start with this one. This one I painted the cover. Um, Trying to get it all in frame. I painted the cover, and this is fabric, so this is painted on fabric. And then all the fabrics that are in the book are hand dyed. This one is soy wax batik, and then this side is marble. Um, I'm sorry. Let me change the title. I just noticed that I didn't change it. Okay. Sorry about that. Um, like I said, this one is um, soy wax petite, and I'm gonna do that on stream. I want to make some more fabrics probably for the upcoming book that I'm gonna make. Um, I hope this music isn't too loud. Cut it down just a little bit. I don't even know if you could hear it because I can't hear my own stream, but I can hear it. I just hope it's not too loud. And then most of the imagery in here came from like originals that I painted, and then I printed them, copied it. I like to scan most of my art in so I can reuse it again. This one was printed on fabric again. And then this one I just printed it on paper so I could use it in my book again. Like I said, I'm not going to show the whole book, and then this is also hand-dyed fabric because we would be here all day. Like in a later date, if you know you're interested in me going through the whole thing, I could like dedicate a stream like per book. But I just want to show you some of the pages in this one. And then I'll show you like the middle section and then show you some of the other ones. But and then most of the art in here is going to be copies from my original work. I don't remember if I did any original drawings in this book or not, but and then this is some rubber stamping, and all of this is collage. Most of the sewing for this was probably done before I put it in the book, because as you can see, it's not on this side, it's only on that one side. And then all these papers are jelly prints, and that's a lot of mostly how I paint and dye my papers is with jelly print. So that'll be something that you'll see a lot on my channel. This is also jelly printed, and that's, you can see, well, I don't know if you could tell that that's bubble wrap, jelly printed with bubble wrap. And then I like to use vintage papers. I love vintage papers, ledgers. I love working with ledgers, and postage stamps is something I like doing. And this is, I want to show this page, and then I might go do a few more and then go to the next book. I participated in like a swap one year, and when you get the stuff from the swap, you're supposed to make a page with the items. That's what this page is. This was a swap that I did. Just about everything on here was sent to me by somebody else. They're from Idaho. I just kept their information. I'm not gonna flip this open because this has their information, because I wanted to, you know, preserve what the people gave me into the book and remember who sent me what. But I'm interested in trying to start my own swap on this channel. If anybody's interested, maybe the next time I stream, I'll kind of have a sign up form, or probably later this month, because I gotta make the form on my website. But I am interested in doing that. It'll be small stuff like what would fit in an envelope, because I know this postage is kind of crazy now, and with everything, this trade war and stuff that's going on, I know it'll be difficult, but I'm gonna try to set it up where anybody can participate. Like maybe if you stay in a foreign country, someone from your country, you know, you could swap with them. And before I get too far ahead of time, I always forget to do this. I'm Random Art. I'm a mixed media artist, but I also like to play games. I started streaming, I can't remember if it was the beginning of last year or before that, because I injured myself, so I haven't been streaming for a while. I just started back maybe about a week ago, but I was streaming games. This is my first art stream back, because I'm not going to leave, you know, doing art. I just want to add things to my channel. I'm streaming on Twitch, and I'm going to be streaming live on YouTube. Currently, I can't have but one YouTube channel live for some reason. So anything I stream on YouTube, I'm going to make a a command so I can show you that channel. I'm gonna move all my live YouTube art to its own channel. But that's what I wanted to say. I forgot it. If you're on Twitch and you're interested in my art content or my gaming content, you can follow me on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, follow me there. The current channel that I'm streaming this on now is my gaming channel, and I'm going to have a separate channel for art. But I would appreciate a subscription and a like if you like the content. So this is another page. I like to work with old books. I'm pretty sure I probably just found this like cover, or I got it in some type of ephemera purchase or something like that. And then this is I don't think you could tell, but this is like a clothing pattern that I painted over. But I love this book. It's not quite finished. All my books get to like a certain point, and then I might go back and finish them later, or I just keep them in the current state. But I'm trying to remember. I think this was part of a swap too. I think I got this little owl thing here, and then I made my own owl to go with it. So I really want to do that again. It was fun when I did it, and I really enjoyed seeing how, everybody's work. But yeah, all of this is jelly prints. This envelope jelly printed on the inside and on the out. And then I also like the stitch on paper, because when I first came to art, I came to art as a quilter. So sewing seams and sewing, I can't really get that out of my system. So that's one of the things that I really love to do, and I like the way it looks on paper. The stitches. And then I also like putting the different jelly print pages together. This is some dictionary paper. I said I wasn't going to stay in this book long. I really kind of want to just get to my favorite page. And then I'm going to go to one of the other books. Well, I have a couple favorite pages. But I can be in this book all day. Because I like going back to looking at it. Yeah, this is also jelly prints. I love going back to, to look at it. And then I like looking at the fabric. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to put this fabric together. Because I wanted like a memory of some of the fabrics that I had dyed. In a place where I can go back and see some, a reference to like some of the fabrics that I've dyed, and remember some of the techniques that I've done. I know this one is alcohol inks dyed. So if you want to see some of the techniques, I'll just turn some pages. I'm finishing this sentence. If you want to see like some of these techniques that I do, see, this is the pattern paper, and then I just kind of painted it black on one side. I love that, the way it looks with the black, with going through the paper, that you can see it through the paper. But I like using those kind of things. Love postage stamps. That is going to be the next book I show you. It's a postage stamp book. I had a second one I was working on. I don't know where that one is right now. But so this is one of my favorite pages. This is a copy of and a drawing of one of my original drawings, is what I'm trying to say. And then I printed it on tracing paper, and then I use that in a book. Um, and then it's collage under it, and then black cardstock collage and sewn on top of it. But I love the way that that came out. Yeah, this is one of my favorite pages, and I think my other favorite one, let me see if I can find it. This was another swap page. So all of this stuff was sent to me from somebody I swapped with, and then I made a page with their stuff. So everybody, even if we're doing the same thing like painting on paper or drawing on paper, we all have different styles. That's why I like receiving other people's stuff, and I like to see what they doing, and then I also like to challenge myself to work with it. This was also from a swap. So somebody sent me this stuff, and then I made a page with it. I don't know, my swap pages are really kind of like my favorite too, because I like seeing other people's work and some of the stuff that they make. And then I also like, how it comes out mixed with my style. Like this stuff mixed with my vintage dictionary pages and stuff like that. Love this page. These were hand cut cardstock, and I think I used them as mask on a jelly plate first, and then I used the actual cutout pieces in the artwork. So like I used it to do this type of jelly prints because I like floral type images in my work. So that's what this is, and that's how they got their color. This this might, no, I'm gonna say this might be an original drawing in the book, but it isn't. I'm sure it's a copy of an original drawing because it's not. It's collaged on the page. So, and this one is I was inspired by someone else's art type, so I tried to make a drawing in their art type. Like they in the clothing, they always like write sentences and words. So this is inspired by Linda Hansen. So that's why I wrote, you're an angel, Linda Hansen, because this drawing was inspired by their work. They always have shirts, and then they always have long necks and collars that are long. And then I use old calendars. I use anything I can get my hand on. To be honest, this was drawn in a book. I like maps and more of my hand-dyed fabric. I think this is one of my favorite pages. Like I said, more jelly printed papers, more hand-dyed fabrics, and then I also like this page. So this is a good example of the type of things I like to do, and I'm just going to go to like the middle of this book to show you that in the middle I put another book inside the book. This is called a 3-tier book, and I really haven't worked on this one at all. I'm probably going to have try to finish the book days, and then I haven't cut this off yet. I haven't decided if I want to cut it yet or if I want to leave it. So right now I've left it, and I made them extra long when I was sewing this to this, sewing these in this part of the book for on purpose, because I you know think that I want to do something with them. I just can't decide what, but so yeah, this is a big one. Um, I think this is the biggest one I've made so far. And then this is the back, more hand-dyed fabric. And then I learned this stitch, I think in a class I was taking. And then this is a combination of commercial and hand-dyed fabric strips. So that's that one. Since we were talking about the postage stamps, this is another one. This is a postage stamp book, so I covered the whole thing with postage stamps. And then this is my first attempt at is it Coptic stitching? I think that's what it's called. I think that's what it's called. I have to look it up, but I think that's what it's called. And then this one is probably the most finished book that I have, that I would consider it to be finished. And even though I made it before I put everything in it, and that's one of the reasons why I work the way I work now, rather than binding the book and going from there. I kind of work with the signatures loosely, and this is another one that it would probably take all day to go through. I'm probably gonna hold this one up so you can see it a little bit better, but I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. But and not only did I use postage stamps on the top, I think I used postage stamp in each spread. I want to make another postage stamp book, maybe smaller. And I have a lot of favorite pages in this one too. It's hard to just say I have one favorite and to be done with it, because it's difficult. But so I have a variety of type of books. It just depends on how I feel when I'm making them, what comes up. Because before I make them, I kind of have an idea in my head, but it doesn't always come out exactly how I have it. Sometimes it changes along the way. So what I thought I was going to do kind of changes, but what I like doing mostly still translates. Like, I like sewing paper together, especially with scraps. So that's gonna be something that you're gonna always see in a book that I make. Whether I'm drawing mostly collage is gonna be something that you're gonna always see in a book that I make. Drawing faces is going to be something that you're always going to see. Stamping, like this is stamping, that's something that you're going to see. So, and vintage papers, and painted papers. So it just depends on how I feel, what happens. I do have a favorite one in this one. I don't know if I can find it quickly. This is it, I think. So this is one of my favorite pages. This isn't a face that I drew, but I like how I made the corset closure to close it in. So that's one of my favorites. I think I have another page similar to this. I think it's in one of my other books. I don't think it's in this one. But so yeah, this one, it will probably be the closest one to I can consider finished, because it's stuff on just about every page. See, I use this artwork again. I use my artwork often in my books. That one I used again also. But so it just depends. And we were talking, I was telling you about the 3-tier book inside the other book. Let me see if I can get this loose. This is another 3-tier book. This one's almost finished. I'm trying to get to the front. I think this is the front. So this is one of the first 3-tier books I made. And it's just called that basically because it has three separate sections. So that's why it's called a 3-tier book. So like I said, this one is almost finished, and I have some pages that like span the whole distance, like with the artwork. I know I have a face in here, but like the pages kind of go together. Like I guess this one you could say spans the whole section, because I cut this flower in half and then put part of it on the middle section, and then I really didn't cut this one. I don't think I cut that one. I think that's just another part of the flower. But so this one I'm still working on. But so these, I'm sure these small faces, I'm pretty sure I drew in here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I drew these faces in here. And it doesn't really lay flat. I guess because of how I made it. I'm sure this is, I forgot what they call this tape. It's not duct tape. I forgot what it's called. I can't think of what it's called offhand. I apologize. But that's on the inside to make it stronger for the stitches, and then it's also on the outside. But I'm working on another one of these books, but that one is, I don't know if it's going to be as thick as this one was. So in addition to starting new projects, I'm also going to try to finish some projects. Like I said, this is another 3-tier book that I started. It's a little bit smaller than the other one. I think it's more like a 3x3 or 3.5 by 3.5. But instead of finishing that one in the book, I'm finishing it, like this, because it's easier to work with without the book forcing it to close. But I'm also going to put a different type of binding on this one, I think. I'm still going to use hard covers. This was a dictionary that I cut down that I'm going to use for the cover. But I still got a lot of work to do. Of course, you'll see my images. I don't know how I want to finish this one. So it's going to be some of the same types of papers. Um, some rusted pages, some stamp pages. I haven't did much in here as far as collage yet. I've done a little bit, but most of it is mostly rubber stamp, and the pages the way they were before I even put them in the book. As far as some rusting going on here, a little bit of collage on this page. So that it's two things I kind of want to focus on. I'm pretty sure I drew this in the book. Let me find the middle. Is that in the middle one? I don't know where the middle section is. Oh, this is it right here. I have something like this in the other one that I was showing you. Let me find the page where I have like the face that spans the distance of the 3-tier book. And then I have some that only span like two like only 2 parts of the book, like this one I was starting to draw. But so this is another one that needs to be finished. This one is almost finished. Is this the front? And some of them are like finished to my satisfaction, like now for now. Like this is one of those ones that's kind of finished to my satisfaction. Is this the? I'm trying to see if this the front or is this the back? No, this the front. More of the hand-dyed fabrics on the front. Then I like working with envelopes. Pretty sure I could put something in here. I think I can. I don't know, maybe I can't. I have to investigate that more. But again, more hand sewn paper. I mean machine sewn paper. More collage with jelly printed papers. This one for some reason is coming apart. I'm gonna have to see how to repair that. I don't know what I did to it, but if you can see right here, it's coming apart. I might take the whole thing loose and redo it. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to investigate that and see what's going on, why that's happening. And then it's sticking together, so I need to fix that also. But I haven't really looked in this book in a while because, like I said, I consider it mostly finished. Like it's like 90%, if not more. But I'm gonna go through all my books and look through them again and see what needs to be done to finish it. But even if the books are a little bit different, my style is pretty much going to be similar or the same in most of the books. Sometimes I kind of challenge myself to restrict the color. Other than that, it's still going to translate into my style of bookmaking. Like, you could tell that I love color. I love layers, and I love simple and complex backgrounds. I'm pretty sure I drew this one in here. Um, so, like, my style is gonna vary. It just depends on how I feel that day, what I'm gonna do in the book. All of these are thickly painted on, jelly prints, and then there's some layering with like some see-through, I think that's tissue paper that I coffee dyed and then jelly printed on. This is from a fake postcard. That's not anybody's real address. Something I printed out. But I'm pretty sure that these cut off pieces are probably scraps from something bigger that I sewed together, and I just had the scraps left. So I decided to put them in the book. I think this is the one that has that yeah, the other page with the that's similar to the one with the corset where I have a face behind it. Um, and then I like to keep the stitches. Sometimes I like for you to see them. Sometimes I cover them up. This time, I just painted over him with some either white paint or white gesso. Um, so this one I kind of did the same thing, whereas I used these cardstock shapes to jelly print with first, and then once I was finished with the jelly printing, I used them in the book. So this one was done the same way. And then the next book that I'm going to show is one I started on stream when I started streaming. Like I said, I can't remember if it was the beginning of last year or the end of the year before that, but I started this one on stream. It's not finished. It's not bound yet. I was prepping it to bind it, but I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna do a weave binding, and the book that I've done that on, that's still in the other state that I was staying, and I haven't brought that back yet. But I'll show you if I can make it work on camera. I actually have a smaller one that I'm gonna bind. I might can make the smaller one work on camera where I can show you how that's done. So again, this is another book, but all of this I did on stream. I did the jelly printing on stream. That's one of the reasons why I decided to start streaming on YouTube. It's not that I'm necessarily trying to I would love to have followers on YouTube, but it's basically to have a more permanent catalog of my work, because I hate that I started this project and another one I'm going to show you after this on stream. I drew this on stream, but I don't have the work to show for it, and it would be difficult for me to jump like into the middle of a project and say, I'm sure a lot of people that was here wouldn't mind seeing that, but if you're new to this channel and you haven't seen me do any work, pretty sure that's a pocket, it would be difficult for me to start in the middle of a project and just start working. Some people don't mind, but a lot of people like to see projects from beginning to end. And that's what I was doing when I started this project. I started it, you know, with the loose papers. I did some coffee dyeing and some rusted papers. I did everything for this project, you know, on stream. But and then I started doing a collage on stream. The only thing I really wasn't doing on stream was sewing the pages, because I don't really have a way to have my sewing machine on stream as I'm sewing. So I would either do that after stream. Periodically I would go to the side and sew it, and then just show you what I've done. But I would really love to have where I can have the sewing machine on stream also, showing you what I've done. This one is drawn on paper, and then I cut it out and glued it on here. So yeah, that's the only thing. I love Twitch, but I just don't like that your body of work doesn't stay on there permanently. So like, to me it would be difficult to start in the middle of a project, because a lot of people want to see your whole process. Even though I didn't do like every single thing on stream, most of it was done on stream. Like I said, I might go back and like sew, do some stitching after the stream, and then come back and show you the next day what I stitched. But for the most part, all the jelly printing and putting the signatures together, that was done on stream. I really like this page. I really like how the colors and stuff turned out. So that's part of the reason why I'm going to YouTube. Also, so if someone starts to follow me 6 months from now, they can go back and look at the body of work. Or if I'm in a middle or end of a project, they can go back and look at the project from the beginning, instead of jumping in at the end. So once I get back into things, like my next stream, I'll have a command for the YouTube channel. I just honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to do on stream today. I kind of wanted to play a game, but then also I kind of wanted to jumpstart my art stream back up. And so I decided to start with the art stream. I might later today play a game. This is Fabric Pocket. And again, you know, the fabrics I'm using is some of my hand dyed fabrics. Did I leave this up as a pocket? Yeah, I did leave that as a pocket. This weaved edge. So like I said, I love drawing in these books. Oh, that one's kind of stuck. Let me see if I can get it. It might not. It might stay stuck, and I have to go fix it later. Oh, okay, I got it loose. So yeah, I was drawing. I knew I drew that on stream. I think I did. It's hard to know what I did on stream or off stream, because I don't have the like I said, I don't have the documentation. But so I need to finish this. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to finish it on stream for the reasons I stated a few minutes ago. I think I'm just going to start a brand new project. So And let me put that to the side. This is another project that I also started on stream. I started the big one, but then I started this smaller one because it was easier for me to have it in the camera where you could see it. And this one I've been working on off stream like 10 or 15 minutes when I wasn't in pain. But again, it would be kind of difficult for me to jump into this one because everything I've done before won't be available. But this is probably the one that I'll show you how I do the binding, because this one's smaller and I should be able to get this one in camera and show you how I do the binding. So what I might do is do like the final steps that I want to do to this one. It's just a few more things, like add some pockets and add more tabs. I might do that one so I can finish it on stream. This one has faces that I drew in the book. So I might do that. So that might be doable because the other one that I'm going to make, it's going to be kind of big because I kind of have an idea of what I want to make as the next book. So I also started this one on stream, this small one. This one is about 3.5 by 3, 3 by 3 or 3.5 by 3. Let me see. Yeah. I think, yeah, about 3 by 3. So I like to work in all different sizes. So this is one where I challenge myself to work with a limited color palette. So I only worked with greens and blues, teals, and this one is pretty much how most of my finished books are, what I want in most of my finished books. Like I want pockets, all this this paper was coffee dyed or tea dyed. I rarely work with white papers. I usually do something to them before I put them in the book, either jelly print or tea dye. And then this one, I put this ledger paper in here and folded it down. I like doing it, you know, as a little surprise. So that's what's in this envelope. Then this is a pocket with some of the stitch papers. I really enjoy working with this one also. So this one, what I might do is like have a day where I just make tags and stuff to go into some of the pockets of the unfinished books, and then as I'm working with them, I can probably show the whole book in that stream, because I know some of you might be interested in seeing like the whole book. So I might do that, but I love working in this size. I don't know if there's any drawings in this book. If it is, it's probably copies or printouts of some of my old books. This was some rusted tracing paper, I think. Tracing paper or deli paper. And see, that's another thing. I like I said, I did on stream coffee dye paper tea dye and paper, which that's not hard to do again. That's really not difficult. I can do that again. I don't think it's anything in this envelope. No, this one's empty. So I have one of those little envelope makers where you can make an envelope in any size. So that's where these little envelopes are coming from. But I think it's this one I wanted to show you. I think I put a little book in this one, and but I haven't put anything in the pages. I just made it into a little book and sewed it in, and I'm gonna finish working on that page. But I like how this limited color palette came out. I really do. This is one of the first books that I ever made. It was a what do you call it? Prompt. Like they had journal prompts. And so I followed the journal prompts. I don't think the website that I follow does this anymore. If they do, I don't remember what it's called. I honestly don't remember what it's called. But if y'all want to do something like that, we can do something like that over here in this community where we figure out some journal prompts. They have a lot of them that are available like on Pinterest, so I could find one and we could work from it. But I put all the journal prompts in the table of contents, and then all the pages that I did from the journal prompts are in order according to the table of contents. So I really like doing this book. This is like one of the, when I really first started drawing faces, I have a stencil. Like this is the shape of the stencil here. Is it Pam Carringer? I can't think of her name. I can't think of her name. I don't even know where the stencil is. Hold on, I do see the stencil. Let me see if her name is on here. Okay, it's a Stencil Girl stencil, and it's called L171 Carriker, Carriker. But this is when I first started drawing faces. I was using this stencil here. And then, after I kind of got to a point where I just drew them myself because I knew I didn't want them to be perfect. But yeah, so most of the faces in here were done using that stencil. I think I also have a book of hers. I think her first name is Pam, if I'm not mistaken, Carriker. But so I just followed the prompts and did everything the prompt said. Like this one was silhouette. Some of them I wrote what the prompts are on the page, but some of them I didn't. So this one was silhouettes. I'm pretty sure this was a stamp that I drew that I used to make this silhouette. This one was television. And I think on almost all the pages I might have a face. I don't know, or I have the shape, because like I said, that stencil is what jump started this project. Then this one is windows. I want to do another book with shapes in them. As a matter of fact, the book I was working on, that's what got me to cut out these faces. So in each one of these Signatures is a cutout face. Some of them have two cut out, but at least they all have one that's cut out. So that's kind of what led me to want to do that. In that book, I was kind of giving, going back to my roots of something I had done in another book. So, and then I just kind of drew the eyes from the stencil, but kind of did adapted the nose and the lips a little bit. But this one was Valentine's. But it was a year-long prompt, and I followed it. I might have got behind a little bit, but for the most part, I stayed on track. And as you can see, this was dated 2015, so that was a long time ago. But that's kind of when I first started drawing faces and really getting into making books. I have the thing to punch the holes and close to do the I forgot what these are called, but to close it on these, I have one of those machines. I really need to use it again. I think this is the only book I made with it. And then this one was coloring book. It's an old picture of me, a real old picture. And I think this one was called Just Right. I love doing this, so I don't know. I might try to find some a nice prompt list for this year, or let me know if that's something y'all would be interested in on this channel. This was an inspiration board, so this was like a combination of things. I forgot what this one was for, but I think this one's spring cleaning. I think that's what this one was. But I really like doing this. So this one was Sweet Treats. And then I also made I have no idea where it is. I made I carved a stamp with this face. And that's what this is. I don't know where the carved stamp is at all. So not only did I try to start drawing faces back then, but I also started carving stamps back then. So that's what this is. One of the first stamps I carved. I don't even know if it's all one piece or if it's separate pieces. I can't remember. That's been a while ago. And then this one, I think I free drew that one. I think this is one of the ones that I drew on my own without the guide. So yeah, I like doing this book. This one is Treasure Map. Like some of them I know what they are because it's on there. This one was either nature or leaves or something like that, and I'm sure I jelly printed some leaves. Using some leaves. But I like this project. So I want to do something similar to this again. I don't know if I'm going to do the holes. I might do something like this within another book that I'm making. So this is another unfinished project. So like I said, 2026 is going to kind of be a year of trying to finish. And when I say finish, I don't mean every page has to be finished. I mean, I at least want it bound. At minimum, I want it bound into a book. Like I said, I don't really consider this 100% finished, but it's at least bound into a book form, and I can see the end, like what I want to do to this one. Uh, and then another thing I wanted to explain, this is how I work now. I work in signatures that are not sewn into a book because it's easier to work with this because like I said, I still like to put them under the sewing machine and sew them, and it's easier to do that with something like this. It's really impossible to do it with a book that's already bound. So this one really doesn't have a lot in it. I kind of kept it a lot simpler, and it's mostly my rusted pages. Like this page is rusted, this was rusted, so it's mostly that. It's some hand stitched fabrics. I don't know whether I'm gonna keep this more simplified or if I'm gonna collage it further. See, this one's collage and it's mostly with tracing papers, and again hand stitched fabrics, as well as this one. So I haven't decided completely what direction I wanted to go in. Basically, when I made this book, I really wanted to have a record of some of my dyed papers, coffee dyed and rusted. I wanted to kind of have a catalog of those things. So this one has a little bit more collage than some of the rest of them. And then again, the sewn fabrics. I can't remember if I did this directly into the book or if I did it and did freehand and then put it in the book. And then this one. So that's what I'm kind of trying to decide with this one. I have a little bit of color in here, but for the most part, it's just hand dyed papers. That's why I said it depends on how I feel, what comes out. This was an envelope that I had, and I made it into a pocket by cutting off the top, and I'm pretty sure this postage was already on here. That's probably why I used it. And then I started drawing a face on the back. And then I know this one is attached to that this card here. That's how I put it in the book. I just attached the two sides together. And then more rusted papers. And then with a pocket. So yeah, all my books I'm pretty much gonna finish in a similar fashion. This one has a zine in the middle, and it's gonna be with the weaved back. I wish I had that book because it's difficult to explain it without having that as an example. But I thought I brought it with me, but I didn't. I left it in storage. Some of my books are still in storage up north. This one was a pretty sure a jelly printed dictionary page. More rusted paper. More of my hand dyed fabric. So like I said, you can get this one was a copy of an original drawing, and then this one I'm pretty sure I drew in the book. So that's why I said it kind of depends on how I feel, what I produce. or what ideas are floating around in my head, um, what comes out, because you can get a neutral, which I don't know if it's going to stay neutral, but I really like the way some of these pages rusted. I like it so much that I don't feel that they all need something. Maybe a small little piece of something, but to be honest, some of them, they might just stay how they are. Like this one, I just added some fabric. This was a sept after fabric, and then this is my hand dyed fabric. It's a piece of rusted cloth. So it just depends on how I feel, what you're gonna get. You know, when I'm making a book, this is some fabric lace that I make. I love making that. And then I like I haven't cut it yet because I haven't decided if I want to cut it or if I just want to leave it in the book and let it, hang down like that. I haven't decided yet. That one was added, a piece that was added to the folded bit. So, and then some more hand stitching. This one I haven't even attached yet, so I kind of loosely want it on this page, but I'm not 100%, so I haven't even glued it down or sewn it down. However, I decided that I was going to attach it. I haven't put it in there yet. This has also got fabric. And then this was a piece of the T-tag that when I T-dyed some fabric, it got dyed, and I just kept that little piece. And then this is some more probably rusted paper, because sometimes I like to add black ink to it when I rust them. I love how this part came out. This was probably like a rub-on sheet or something like that. And then I know I rusted and coffee dyed that also. So, like I said, it just depends on how I'm feeling as far as what the book looks like. Like, I love this page. This is a pocket. That one's also a pocket. I'm pretty sure this is more sept after fabric. And this one's tea stained. So that's how I like to work now. That's why you see this book in this condition, and also the big one has not been put together. Because this makes it a little easier for me to work. So this one, these two are kind of like finished. The cover is fabric on top of watercolor paper. It's painted fabric, and it's painted with paint, but also with matte medium, I think. So it looks kind of like leather, but it's just regular cotton fabric. And then I put the cotton fabric on top of the watercolor paper. This is another way I like to bind books. The ribbon cover. I want to say this is Coptic stitch also. I don't know. since I pretty much do my own thing, I can't remember what all the stitches are. But if I get ready to make another book like this, I'll be sure to tell you the correct binding type. But because mostly the books I'm making now, I'm weaving the binding. I might do some of these in combination with the weaving, but currently most of the books I make now I'm weaving. So this is a jelly print page. This was a pocket. Pretty sure I printed this paper out, this pink graph paper, and it turned this way because I coffee dyed it. To be honest, I think, let me see. I was gonna say I think most of this book is prints from Jelly Prints, and then I went over them. I can't tell. I was trying to see if I could feel the difference, but this one. This was just an exercise. I think this is a class I might have taken of how to do this type of binding. I think this was a class. I have to see, because I also have I have a couple of books on binding books. They're all up north, unfortunately. And so sometimes I'll go to my books and do a project, from the binding book. But I know these are all copies of Jelly Prints that I printed on paper. So these are not the original Jelly Prints. And I probably played with them in Photoshop and added the writing to them. Like this looks like a part of a French letter. I think that's what this is. The writing behind it. So I do like to do that, make printables. It's been a long time since I actually have done it. And I don't even know if I have the old files to the printables. This is the same thing. A jelly print that I scanned in and then used a French letter. I turned it into a brush in Photoshop. So this book, I don't think I've done any work in it. I just really used the copies to turn it into a book. I think I was going to make this into a giveaway book. I think I am going to make this into a giveaway book. So when I get to a certain amount. I love how the printables turned out, though. I wish I still had those files. I think I'm going to try to make another one and then make that where either the people that participate in a swap can download it. I don't know, some kind of way I'm going to do it. I'm not trying to, how can I put it? I'm trying to build a community, so I'm not really trying to make everything I can to sell, because currently I don't make any books to sell. Hey Shipwreck, how are you? I just make them to make them. So I forgot my thought. So what I'm saying is, like, if I do the printables, it's just going to be something like a free download or something like that, or download in combination with the swap club or something like that. Because I know times are hard for people, and I want people, if they want to like be a part of the community and make art along, to be able to do that. I'm trying to focus. Hopefully your new year is good. I'm trying to focus. So that's what I was trying to say. So if I do like start to make printables, I'm not really trying to earn. It is a thank you very much. Oh, mine is good. It was good. Besides for everybody shooting and fireworks, it was all right. Other than that, it was good. So, yeah, I like the way this printable turned out too. I I wish I could find this file, but honestly, that might been on a computer ago. Something I did on an old computer. So, computer. Oh, you had fireworks in the house. Oh, you made homemade. Oh, that sounds good. My brother cooks here, so my brother cooked. Um, so the ones that were printed on the computer, they were printed on like a inkjet printer, and that's not permanent ink. So what I normally do is um, gloss over them with like some clear or some matte medium, so it no longer runs. And sometimes I'll just add color, but yeah, these have a little bit of texture, but for the most part, like I said, they're copies. Um, this looks like a from a planner or a calendar. But and I made two of them. This is also fabric, painted fabric. Uh, like I said, when you do that painting with the matte medium, it looks leathery, but it's not. It's fabric, and then I put it on some watercolor paper. And also, this is also prints from either Jelly Prints, and then I play with it in Photoshop. How do you bound them? These were bound, I think it's a Coptic stitch. I don't remember, it's been a while. But the ribbon is what holds the cover on. After you bind it, you put holes in the cover and put the ribbon through here. And then that's what holds these together. So I like the way this looks, so I might bind some more like this in the future. But like I said, I really haven't worked in these two. I think these were more for me to make them for science. Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I like them. And then I also like the way this fabric comes out. It comes out looking like a leather. But I'm gonna do more of this on stream. Also another jelly print that was printed, scanned in and printed on paper. Um, Play with it in Photoshop. Yeah, I gotta make more of this. Honestly, I might try to make some more for the next journal. And then I use the scraps to make the pockets. Stitch the scraps. This is another pocket also made with stitch scraps. It's difficult for me to throw anything away. you, as you can see, it's got the little smallest piece of scrap. It's going to become something, a pocket or a cover or something. And then I'm pretty sure this is copies of a French letter. I copied it because you could kind of see where the ink has run a little bit when I coffee dyed it. That little pink part, that's where the ink ran. Now you sound like Supreme throwing nothing away. It's difficult. It's like we throwing away a piece of our soul. So Supreme knows exactly what I'm going through. But so yeah, I know this one was another copy. So let it go. There will be more scraps. Um, but not like this scrap. That's a unique scrap. This is some more coffee dyed paper. So this is some ledger. So like I said, my style kind of varies. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling that day, what kind of book I produce. Uh, I'm trying to see what's going on. Oh, okay. I saw the stitching. I was like, what's going on here? Yeah, this is more copies. And then another pocket. But this is pretty much the style of the type of books I try to make. And this one, I've done nothing in this book. All of this was like pre-done before I even stitched it together. Like all the coloring was already on the paper. It's difficult for me to start with like a blank page. More scraps. See, Ship, what would have happened if I would have thrown these scraps away? I wouldn't have been able to make this pretty pocket. And then some notebook paper, just coffee dyed. More ledger. So this is one that I consider almost finished. I mean finished because I don't know if I'm gonna work in that one. you have made another pocket. So this one is another one that's not finished. So if you're getting here late, I'm going through some of my finished and unfinished books, just kind of showing the type of books I like to make. This one started with a printable. I don't know if this printable is still available. And I would have to find it. I know it's from Etsy. But I didn't make this printable. I purchased this printable. And I would have to see if it's still available. But like I said, it's been so long that I started working on this book. This is how I used to do it before I started pre-sewing them. I would just have the signatures loose. It's still similar to the way I do it now. But at least now I do kind of pre-sew the signatures. This one's marbled paper. I'm trying to figure out if this real marbled paper or a copy of marbled paper. Because I have both. Because some of the books I make, I use marbled paper inside the cover. This might be a copy. I think this is. But this is more copies of Gelly Prints. So all of my work, especially pages that I like, I reuse it over and over again. Most of it I scan into my computer and make a database of the Gelly Prints. And then I play with some of them in Photoshop. This was the cover that I was making. It's just cardboard, regular cardboard. And I painted over it. And then I think this was going to be part of the cover too. Can't remember if I was going to put this on the top or the back. Because it's been a while. But like I said, 2026, I need to finish some of these projects. So that one's another one. That one has a pocket. This is tracing paper. I love how tracing paper gets when you coffee dot it. It's kind of crunchy. Another pocket. And the pocket are made with what do you call that? A die cut machine, and I have the folders that makes the texture and stuff. I can't think of what it's called. So that's what this is. I had one of those folders near me. I don't know what I did with it. My brain is not working properly today. I'll try to find it in a bit. But that's what this is. And that's what most of my pockets are. Look, I'm not going to be right until I find it, but I'll find it in a minute. You know, it's the die cut machine, but the other part, man, brain work. I'll find it in a minute, and then I'll show you. But this is a print. This is still more of that printable. I'm gonna look on Etsy and see if it's still available. If it's still available, I'll put it in the YouTube video of this, since that one would stay longer than the Twitch one. So once I move this to the this video to the art stream, I'll put that. I'll put the name of this printable if I can still find it. I know I got it on Etsy. That part I do know. It's kind of what drove this book, because sometimes I get inspired by the papers, like the jelly print papers. Sometimes I get inspired by like the postage stamp one. I was inspired by the postage stamps, so they drove this book. And a lot of the other ones, the jelly prints drive them. So this one was really driven by this printable. I like all the floral pages, all the different pages. I gotta find this. It should still be available. I don't think printables go off. I mean, you know what I'm saying, where they no longer make them. But I'm gonna see if I can find it. I think I remember who the artist is, because I get printables from a few people on Etsy. So I gotta find out which one this is. But this is what drove me wanting to make this book. I wanted to use these printables. I'm pretty sure this one goes this way. So this one, I didn't do any collage or anything in it. I just really started it. I always coffee dye papers for books, so I always have coffee dye paper around. And then, was this an original? This was an original jelly print, not a copy. So that's something else I almost always have hanging around. So that's what pretty much drove this book. And I think my idea, let me see if I can remember my idea. It's been so long. I wanted to make multiple covers. So this is the top cover, and then this is leather and fabric sewn on the leather, and then I glued it to this, and then I think this was going to be part of the inner cover. This might have been from a class I was taking, but I don't know where the class is, so I'm just going to figure out how I want to finish it, and then go ahead and finish it. And then I know these are copies of ephemeral vintage papers that I have. So I think this is how it was going to look as a book. So I'm going to have to figure out how I want to finish it and go ahead and finish that one. I only have a few more to go. You know, that's readily available. I have many more projects that need to be finished. Don't get don't believe that this is all I have unfinished. This is all I have that I can get my hands on right now. I think I started this on stream also. I'm pretty sure I did. That's why I don't like that I don't have the body of work available that I started, because it's difficult for me to remember what I started on stream. I think I started this one on stream too. Now this one I might get finished on stream because it's not too far along. It's basically just the papers, some copies of some jelly prints. The back cover is fabric. This is fabric, and then this is it's been collaged with like a deli paper or a tracing paper, just to give it a little bit more strength and stability. I kind of do that with fabric so they won't continue to fray. So that's what this one is. I think this project I started based on these fabric pieces. I made this fabric on a site called Repper. I think that's what it's called, and I printed some samples at Spoon Flower. So I was just using my little samples and I made them into a book. I really like the way the fabric came out, but I didn't get like yardage of it. I just got the samples. So I wanted to use it. So yeah, I definitely started this book on stream also. So this is one that I could finish on stream, because like I said, it's just the papers. Some hand dyed and ink dyed papers. This one is coffee and rust and ink, I'm sure. So yeah, maybe I'll finish this one on stream. Yeah, because this one doesn't have a lot done. So I could, yeah, I can finish this one on streaming to get to the level of some of the other ones. So yeah, this is some of the rusted papers. And a copy of a jelly print. So yeah, if you have access to like a scanner, a copier, some of your favorite pages, before you rip them up and tear them up, scan them first. And all the fabric covers are pretty much done the same way, where I put like deli paper on the inside just to help it so it won't continue to fray. And I might go around at the edges with a sewing machine. That's another thing I normally do if I'm using fabric. And I pretty much do my signatures like the same way. I kind of have a theme of what's going to go on the outside of it, of the signature. And I pretty much do that on most of the same signatures. Like, so this one, on the outside of each one of these is fabric. And this is a fabric pocket. Yeah, I did start this one on stream. I do remember that. And then I also was making these on stream. These are just bits and pieces of some of my hand dyed fabric, because I'm gonna use these as pockets throughout this book. So I did some of this hand stitching on stream. That's another reason. I mean, that's why I say I wish I would have had the YouTube back then. Then I would have a permanent record of some of the stuff that I've done on stream, instead of trying to jump in and just show you, you know, what's the remnants of what was done. But I'll repeat all of this again, because this is basically what I do in my books. Whether it's, I don't always have fabric pockets throughout, but periodically I would use some fabric scraps, you know, to make pockets. But yeah, these are the pockets that are meant to go in this book. And like I said, it's more hand dyed fabric. I really like the way that one came out, and hand stitching. And then on the inside for stability, it's just some deli paper or tracing paper, something like that. But so yeah, I can finish this one on stream. Well, honestly, all of them I'm probably gonna try to finish on stream. I'm gonna start with like a brand new project, so at least you can see some of the beginnings of the projects, like the dyeing of the fabrics. And stuff like that. I just remember what it was called. Embossing folder. So yes, this piece is embossed. I'm like, why wouldn't my brain work? It was made with an embossing folder. And that's what I like to do. That's how I like to make the pockets, using an embossing folder. And then usually I'll either paint this straight out, or I'll paint it on a jelly plate, because I like doing it on a jelly plate, because then this texture transfers to the next page that I'm making. So that's why a lot of times they'll end up getting painted on a jelly plate, because I like the texture that it made. I'm pretty sure this also started as a class way back when I first started making it. I don't know what the class, what class it was. I'm not gonna try to find a class to finish it. I'm just gonna try to figure out the way that I want to finish it on my own. I want to say that this was the back cover, and I know this was a what's her name, Nellie. I can't think of her last name. I'll find it. I know this was a class by her, but I can't remember what site her classes used to be on. I probably have permanent access, but I don't know what it's called. Nellie Wortman. I'm pretty sure this was a class. I started this from her class. But I'm gonna figure out how I want to finish it. Cause I know that this is the cover. And I'm sure I found this picture somewhere, and I made it into a black and white picture, because I wanted an image that was like a person. Because the title of this book, I'm pretty sure I made it doorways, and I had pictures of doorways. So I wanted this one was like coming from the darkness through the doorway, coming from darkness to lightness. That was kind of like the theme I had for this book. So I don't know if I'm gonna finish this one on stream, but when I do finish it, I'll show the finished project on stream. If I do finish it, it's gonna be somewhat different from the project I started in the class. Like, I'll probably add papers in here. And make this like an outer part, and probably do my own type of stitching. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this one or how I'm gonna finish it. This is some more of that embossed paper. But I do want to finish it. To be honest, all the things I kind of have started, I kind of want to finish them to some degree, even if it's just binding. I really love the way this was turning out. This is my first time trying to make this type of book. But I think I'm going to kind of make it my own by adding some coffee dyed paper and some rusted papers. Even if I add like 1 or 2 sheets, and just so it can have my own personality more than the personality, even though it does, it has some elements from the class, but basically all the pages have my own imagery and my own personality. But I just wouldn't want to take someone's class and try to turn it into my own work. So that's why I said I wouldn't finish it. I probably won't finish it on stream, even though of the class, this is all I have. I don't remember how to do the rest of it, but I'm gonna figure out some kind of way to finish it. But to be honest, the next book I make, I kind of want to have this type of elements. Pretty sure this is an old book cover that I cut down and sanded, covered with some ledger paper. So that's one that I need to finish. This one, did I start this? No, I didn't start this on stream. This one, I have kind of a, I don't know, a love, I wouldn't say hate relationship with it. This was already bound, but I took it apart because I didn't like how it was bound. It was bound with like a ribbon closure, but it was too, it didn't seem like it was structured well. I guess you could say that. It was kind of flimsy. So, like, I like all the elements that are in the book. I'm pretty sure this was drawn in the book. Like, I like all the hand dyed and coffee dyed paper. Let me move that over. So I like all the aspects of it. I just don't like how it was bound. Oh yeah, this is a pocket in the middle. And then this has some tucks and some places that unfold out. Again, not much work done in it. Not much, collage or anything done in it. Just a lot of folds out. I was probably following some class with this one too, or a streamer, doing working along with them, because I like to do that a lot. I like to work along with artists, even if it's artists that don't do the same type of work that I do. If they're making art, I like to have them on in the background and either do similar techniques or do my own thing, using some of the products that they're using. Like, this is fabric. So I was either working along, sorry, my voice is starting to go again, or, working with some artists. This might have been something I was doing with Robin McClendon. She's on YouTube and on Instagram, Robin McClendon. So this might have been something I was doing with her channel and her community. This is another pocket. But like I said, the original closure, the way I had it bound, I'm going to do something different. And I think before I bind it, I'm going to collage on these pages or do something in here. Because right now, it's just the blank paper. This is newsprint. This is what was on my desk as I was dyeing paper and jelly printing. So that's where most of this got its color from. Just being on my desk while I was working. Because a lot of times I like working on top of newsprint. And then I'm pretty sure that this is just like brown paper bag that I coffee dyed. So I'm pretty sure that's what that was. And this was a French letter that I copied and coffee dyed, or tea dyed. I think this was tea dyed. Yes. Because I really like the way the color runs when it's dyed. I do like that effect. This is fabric that was rusted. And then jelly printed, or just something was stenciled through, probably on a jelly plate, more than likely, just with some gold paint. Yeah. So this is more newsprint. This was another envelope that I made. Oh, did I sew it? Did I glue it? I think I glued it, yeah. And then I cut open this side so I could stick stuff in here. So, looked like I tried to do a little bit. So this looks like I started collaging this page. But as far as the rest of this book, I really haven't did anything else to it. But I think I'm gonna do this one on stream too, since it's pretty much a blank canvas. Some vintage ephemera. And it looked like I did a little bit of collage on here also. So I started working on it, possibly on stream. I just didn't finish it. I think this is the last one that I kind of have in front of me. I'm trying to look around and see. This is another one I think I started on stream. Like I'm gonna keep it. It's gonna be a broken record when I say I don't remember, because I don't have the information. I'm pretty sure I started this on stream because I think this was going to be a gift. I'm trying to remember. I think I was making this for someone. I was making this for someone as a gift. I need to finish this one definitely and give it to that person. I remember who I was making it for though. I do remember that. So I did start this one on a string. And I can't remember if I was making it for their birthday or for a Christmas gift. I can't remember. But I do need to finish it or give it to them. So when I get ready to finish these on a string, I'll revisit them again and show you through them. Especially since I'm gonna finish it. This is a copy of some of my work. So if you didn't get to see, all the pages of all of them, rest assured as I complete them, we can revisit this show and tell. So this is more fabric, hand dyed and hand painted fabric. I like this size of book, to be honest. This size and this size is like my favorite size to work in. Even though every blue moon I will make a gigantic book, it's cause I don't know, that's how I'm feeling at the time that the project that I'm making calls for that size. This is an envelope. I think this is, yeah, I know I started this on stream because I was jelly printing these envelopes on stream. I do remember that. So hopefully, if this is your first time here, or if you back, I hope you come back and see some of these projects with me. That one's collaged. I really do like this spread. And see, I probably wouldn't do anything more to this. Even though this is a jelly print and I haven't added anything to it, I probably won't add anything to it because some of the jelly prints, I just like the way they are simplified. And then this I was drawing in the book. Yes, I was making this for somebody. I gotta finish this for them. I'm pretty sure this is a printable. I have to find out who this is from. And I just made it to go in this pocket. So I need to figure out how I'm gonna bind this. Yeah, my niece, this is one of my niece's drawings that we copied it on a copy machine, and I cut it out because I think I was making this for her mom. So she drew this, and I copied it on a copy machine and made it smaller so it could go in her mom's book. So yeah, I definitely started this whole stream. I remember that. I was actually making 2 books for her. I'm gonna show you the other one. It's also in the same thing. Yeah. So these are more copies of some of the faces I've drawn along the way. And so is this. I think you've probably seen this in one of the other books I've made. Um, this is a zine that I made that I glued in here. And this is a copy of one of my drawings. Um, so and this closes. I like adding little surprises in the book. So this closes and ties like that. I think my first book for 2026 is gonna have a few elements, few of my favorite elements in the book. So that's how that go sits in the book. Um, so some more rubber stamps. This was probably either a library pocket I purchased or one I made. I can't remember if this was a real library pocket or one I printed out. Cause I know I had a printable with library pockets and printable library cards. So I think this was one I printed out and not a real one, even though I do have some real ones. Another page that I drew in the book. And this paper is some of that paper you get in the painter's department that you put down when you're going to paint a room. It comes on a roll. So that's what this paper is. I like working with it. It's a great collage paper because it's really, really thin. But it already comes with like this greenish color. And I'm pretty sure I coffee dyed it before using it. Coffee or tea dyed it. So I do coffee dye and tea dye because they both give different effects, and I like doing both. So this one is really, really close to being finished. I really got to go through it and see what else I would add before binding it. This one might be a good one to bind on stream because it's really small and easy to it would be easy to work with to show you the binding technique. So this is more embossed paper pocket, and it's been painted or jelly printed, I don't know which one. So my biggest thing is figuring out which one I want to finish first. So this one has one of my drawings in it also. I think that's my biggest problem. This is another pocket. So these pockets I make with paper bags, shopping bags that you get from the store. So I got a fresh batch of those for my next book to make some more pockets. And as much as that stuff I could fit, in the camera, I'm gonna do on stream. This was from one of my other drawings also. So like I said, this one might be ready to be bound. I just gotta go through a little bit slower than I'm going through it today and look at each page and see if I would add anything to it. I know I was adding these little stickers that have quotes, so I don't know if I was finished adding those. Pretty sure it's an envelope, but yeah, another envelope. And I'm probably not gonna add something to every pocket and envelope, but I do want to add stuff to some of the pockets and envelopes. This was a copy of the drawing. This was kind of like the whole drawing with all the ladies in it that I made. It was painted, and then I just scanned it and made a copy of it. more of that, not tracing paper, the gift wrap paper that was coffee dyed, tissue paper. That's what it's called. I rubber stamped on it. I like how you could see through it. I loved using that tissue paper. And I think that's the one, I had that one for a long time. I bought it from Sam's many years ago. No, not Sam's. I'm sorry. Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree. A long time ago. So it's just the Dollar Tree brand of tissue paper. Uh, Another one from my, that I copied from one of my drawings. So yeah. Oh, this was an extra one of those little envelopes. I don't know, did I glue it? Oh, no, I didn't glue it. So I'll put something, I'll think of something to put in there also. The person I'm giving this book to, she doesn't do bookmaking. So that's why it's going to be almost finished, because she doesn't do collage or anything. She just really likes my art and stuff like that. And so I decided I was going to make a book for her. This is also going to be a book for the same person. I remember I had to order some stuff to complete this one. I think I've gotten all the stuff I've ordered now. I just need to finish it. And then, what else was I waiting for? I think everything that I was trying to find, I think I've gotten it in now, so I can complete this one. And then this one is going to be with mostly Asian ephemera. Yeah. I don't know how much I'm going to do in this one. Like I said, she doesn't work in, she doesn't do art like this. So I want it to be as finished as it can be. But it was just going to be a small little simple book. And I know I purchased some more items to go in it, like more ephemera, more envelopes and stuff like that. This was something I purchased to go in there. These are stickers, I think. And then I know I purchased this for that to go in her book too. What was this? So I might have to figure out how I think these are postcards. So I'm pretty sure I got these from Temu a long time ago. And I'm going to figure out some kind of way to put some of them in that book. It's probably not going to be the whole thing because they're larger than her book. Or I might just use them on the cover, inside the cover. I don't know. I'm going to figure out some kind of way because that was the main reason why I purchased these cards, was to go in this book. And then this is some washi tape I purchased for that book. It's some more stuff that I purchased for it. I just don't know where it all is now. And then this was going to be part of the cover. This is canvas, and I took one of the Asian ephemera pages and scanned it and printed it directly on the canvas. It came out nice, and then I used probably the same one or that I scanned in, or some of the same one, and I put it on the inside. I always do that with fabrics so they won't fray. Not that canvas is going to fray. I don't really know. But this is going to be the cover some kind of way. I haven't figured out how I'm going to finish it. So, trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to show you. Again, so if this is your first time here, welcome in. If you're coming back, welcome back. I think I didn't really mean for this to be a too long stream. That's why I didn't show like every page in every book. Because I didn't really want it to be a long, I'm sorry, long stream. The last thing I'm going to leave you with, other than, you know, you've seen some of the books that we're going to work in. The new book that I'm going to start, if you want to start with me this year working on a new book project, I was just going to show you what I'm going to start working with. I don't know if this is going to be the cover or not. I was thinking, I made this a long time ago, and I'm thinking I haven't used it for anything. So I'm thinking about making this the cover. This is some more hand-dyed fabrics, or making this part of the cover. But most of the book, if any of you follow Robin McClendon, I mentioned her on a few minutes ago. I don't know if I still have that command. I think I had a command, Robin, but I don't know. I'll be sure and put that information down. I'm gonna put information of artists that I follow in my about section. I haven't got around to doing it yet, so that way if I forget to put it at the bottom of a stream, at least on Twitch, it's going to be in my about section. Artists that I follow, and artists that you can get inspiration from, as I've done. She did a series where she did journals where she called it post modern consumerism art. I think that was the title. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna do something like that this year. Oh, my camera got bumped a little bit. But I'm sure if you shop like I do, I don't shop that often, to be honest. These are not all from like Christmas or anything, because I didn't do any Christmas shopping. I don't have any small children. So some of these I've collected from my sister when she, visits here and get stuff sent here, and then some of them are mine. But these are all those envelopes that they ask you to recycle. I've taken all the information, the ID and stuff, but they got the pockets. These are all gonna be used in my next journal. So if you have some of these, don't throw them away. If you have friends that have some of these, try to get them from your friends. And I have different sizes. Like I said, I've taken all the address and stuff off of them. But I'm going to use these in my next book project. So this, and I don't know what else. Like I said, this might end up being the cover. Currently, I'm thinking this is going to be part of the cover. So the next stream, the next art stream, I'm going to start jelly printing. So I'm going to tell you how it's going to go. I'm going to start jelly printing the papers. And I may, in the same day, start coffee dyeing, but that's probably going to be a separate stream. And then we'll start putting a book together. And then in the meantime, like maybe while stuff is drying to the side, I'll work on finishing the other books that need to be finished. So that's pretty much how it's gonna go. Trying to think, is there anything else? Oh, also, about the group I want to start, the swaps. I do want to do that, and I'll talk about that more on the next stream. Cause I'll have the information. I'll have the link to where you can let me know you want to be a part of the swap. I'll have that information at the next stream. I haven't created a page. I'm just going to create a page on my website, a sign up page. And then once I get people that are interested in it, I'll probably make some type of membership page, and it won't be a paid membership or anything like that. Like I said, I'm trying to build a community. That's my main reason for streaming live. I want to inspire others, like I've been inspired by others. I'm not really trying to, a lot of people are going through hard times, and I'm not really trying to force people to give me money or anything like that. I just really want to build a community of like-minded people. People that like to make art, any type of art. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be bookmaker or collager or anything like that. Anything you do in card making. I'm inspired by all types of artists. That's why I follow all types of artists, not just art journalists. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So on Twitch, if you like what you've seen today and the type of work I do, you can give me a follow. On YouTube, my art is gonna live on random art underscore US artists. That's where it's gonna live on YouTube. Currently, I'm not streaming live on that channel because I can't. I'm streaming live on another channel, but I'm gonna move it. So that's where my art streams are gonna live. And then I also do gaming streams because I would like to be on stream longer, but I can't do art for 8 hours or 6 hours. Not with my while with me still healing from surgery. But I can do art minimally, maybe 2 hours, and then stop and play some games or something like that. But I've got to get back into making my art. So thank you guys for being here. It's a possibility I'm going to come back with a game. Let me see if I remember how to raid. I need to start back doing that. Let me see who's on that I can raid to. She's still on. Let me see if I remember how to raid. It's been so long since I did any of this stuff. The other day I was trying to do a shout out and I was like, do I know how to do that? I don't know what else. I'm trying to think that I forget anything. So if you want to work with me this coming year on the book, work along with me is what I'm trying to say. Or if you want to participate in the swaps, I'll kind of have that information next stream, and I'll have like a command that you can pull up and pull up the information. And then on YouTube side, I'll put it in the information under the next stream. Thank you guys for being here. This is the first of my art streams for this year, not the last. I'm probably gonna come back tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm gonna start the art tomorrow or just come back with a gaming stream. It's a possibility I might come back this evening with a gaming stream. I'm not sure. Today I'm just kind of feeling all right. um, but again, thank you guys for being here. If I don't catch you on the next one, hopefully you can catch the vibe either here or on YouTube. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the sound of my mouse trying to get to where I'm trying to get to.